It's my pleasure to welcome our today's first speaker, Professor Dr. Luis Miguel Cardozo. He holds a PhD in modern languages and literatures in the specialty of comparative literature from the Faculty of the University of Coimbra, Portugal. He was Dean of the School of Education and Social Sciences of the Polytechnic Institute of Portugal, Portugal between 2010 and 2018, and Deputy Director of the Master in Media and Society. He was President of Association of Reflection and Intervention in the Educational Policy of Higher Education Schools in Portugal, and he's a professor at the Department of Language and Communication Science at the School of Education and Social Science of the Polytechnic Institute of Portugal, Portugal. He is a professor of higher education since 1995. He is a researcher at the Center for Comparative Studies at the University of Lisbon. He was a coordinator of the Communication Bureau of the Polytechnic Institute of Portugal. His main areas of teaching and research are science of language and communication, pedagogical innovation, literacy, education, higher education and social responsibility, and literature and cinema, under which published articles and book chapters and made presentations in Portugal and several countries like France, Switzerland, United Kingdom, Italy, Greece, Poland, Canada, Thailand, Turkey, etc. And he is a member of several international organizations and associations, as well as a member of the editorial board of international journals in the areas of language and communication science, comparative literature, literature and cinema, literacies, and education. It's a pleasure to welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, dear colleagues, dear friends. It's a great pleasure and a great honor to be here. So first of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee for the kind invitation to be here. And of course, I hope we can have an interesting journey through this first conference. And I hope we can dialogue regarding one of the most interesting challenges that we have today in our 21st century. So my dear friends and my dear colleagues, I would like to share the presentation. So I hope this is visible. Oh, thank you. Thank you, my friends. So, my dear colleagues, my dear friends, why are we now analyzing? Why are we debating? Why are we having great expectations regarding Horizon 2030? Because Horizon 2030 is a common goal for us all. Because Horizon 2030, it's not just a date, it's not just a year, but it's a set of goals that we have to achieve in order to have a better future. So this is why it's very important to understand that skills and literacies are the most important path that we have today to get to Horizon 2030. So, my friends, I'm sure we all agree that we are at the dawn of the 21st century, but we have already a lot of challenges to cope with. So, of course, the nature of the pillars sustaining modern society are changing. We are facing incredible challenges, social challenges, cultural challenges, financing challenges. So all this makes us wonder how our path is going to be built and how we can contribute to this common journey. Because information and communication technologies are all around us. They are part of our present and they are, of course, a pillar of our future. And of course, the complexity of heterogeneous and constantly changing social relations are also affecting the way we are seeing our world and are affecting the way we are communicating and we are creating network opportunities as never before. This is why conferences like this one are so important. So we have today an endless flow of information that is transmitted to us through multiple channels and platforms. And this is extraordinary. This is an extraordinary opportunity to engage with different countries, with different colleagues, with different universities, to share knowledge, and most of all, to create opportunities to work together regarding Horizon 2030. So we have an urgent need for education and pedagogy to cope with these transformations. And this is our main challenge, my dear friends. Our world is changing, but how about you? How about your university? How about your school? How about your community? Are we all changing? Are we all adapting? Are we all thinking about the same challenges, the same goals? What are we doing to create new opportunities? What are we doing to evolve in our universities, in our schools? Because we have a new focus. And of course, the new focus is Horizon 2030. So, for example, the European Union has placed the focus of the teaching learning process on the student. And this is called the Bologna process. So this means that students are the core of our classrooms. This means that students are the core of our universities, of our schools. This means that curriculum, our degrees, everything must be adapted in order to give our students the number one attention for them to become the pillar with which we will build a new society and a new university as well. So acquisition of skills in an increasingly autonomous way is very important, not just for our students, but of course for us all, teachers and researchers. So this is a common effort, my friends. We as teachers, we as researchers must dialogue with our universities, with our schools, in order to get teacher training programs about these new skills and about these new literacies. This is why we have to understand that the guidelines from UNESCO, the guidelines from the OECD, the SDGs are so important for us all, because we are all this together. We are together building Horizon 2030. And when we think about the diversity of forms of learning today, my friends, we have a lot of challenges. We are talking about personalized teaching strategies. We are talking about collaborative teaching and informal teaching. And of course, problem-solving teaching and project work, encouraging communication and teamwork in our classrooms, in our schools, in our universities, motivating students, cultivating creativity and innovation, capitalizing and on technological knowledge of our students, developing activities closer to the real world, valuing metacognitive skills that are so important, promoting learning without borders, without space, and without time. And all of this is happening as we speak, because 21st century teachers will not be proficient in every topic of the curriculum, but most become experts in figuring out, along with their students, how to do something, how to find out something, or how to use something to do something new. So a key part of their role will be to model confidence, openness, persistence, and commitment for learners in the face of uncertainty. This was written on 2012, my dear friends, and so accurate it is. So, of course, we as teachers, as 21st century teachers, are engaged with this change. We are the teachers that are promoting these changes, these challenges in our schools, in our universities. So we are curious teachers who lead adventurous lives, have developed resilience, and are creative problem solvers. These are the teachers that can propel those engines. They are able to model and develop the skills that help students build capacity and pleasure in both finding and solving problems. So, my friends, we as teachers have this great opportunity to create a new mindset for our students. They have to find knowledge, they have to solve problems, and we have to guide them in order to get the most important tools, in order to them to obtain the skills, the aptitudes, the values, the principles, and the literacies to be prepared for Horizon 2030. Because today we are talking about a learner-centered classroom and personalized instruction, for example. Our students are now producing content, are now producing information, are now communicating. So they are not just receiving information, they are prosumers, they are producers and consumers. They learn new technology so fast. So we have to go global. We have to be smart and use smartphones, for example. We have to use blogs. We have to go digital. We have to collaborate. We have to use Twitter chats, for example. We have to connect. We have to use project-based learning. We have to build positive digital footprints. We have to be innovative and keep learning. We as teachers have to keep learning. Because as the OECD report Envisioning the Future of Education and Jobs tells us, the future will be about pairing the artificial intelligence of computers with the cognitive, social, and emotional capabilities of humans, so that we educate first-class humans, not second-class robots. It is our responsibility as concerned adults to acknowledge and understand the trends that are shaping this industrial revolution and to impart that understanding to our children as early as possible. It is our responsibility, in other words, to help our children get ready for their future. Because, my friends, we are facing unprecedented challenges. We have a lot of new challenges today as teachers, as researchers. We have social, economic, and environmental challenges driven by accelerating globalization and a faster rate of technological developments. The future is quite uncertain now, and we cannot predict it. So we need to be open and we need to be ready for it. Because young adults in 2030 are our children today. So we have to prepare our children to become young adults by 2030. This means schools can prepare these children for jobs that have not been created, for technologies that have not been invented yet, to solve problems that have not been anticipated. So, my friends, this is why Horizon 2030 is an outstanding effort that connects us all with education and technology. Because our teens, our teenagers, our children are now teens on screens. And why? Because the dimensions of multimodal literacy yet to the complexity of online learning and expand the way readers acquire information and comprehend concepts. So this means that our students are now connected with the world through different media, through different channels, through different tools and platforms. So teachers need to understand the literacy skills involved in comprehending text or media that utilizes varied models of presentation. So my friends, this is why we need literacies. We need literacies for our digital age. For example, when we think about the most important literacies, we can, of course, analyze the importance of historical literacy, health literacy, civic literacy, economic literacy, global literacy, data literacy, digital literacy, tool literacy, media literacy, critical literacy, visual literacy, information literacy, traditional literacy. That is the basis of all this. So this means, my friends, that from traditional literacy to our digital age, we have a long journey. So this, of course, make us wonder, make us think about our priorities. Do we have to understand all these concepts? Yes, we have to understand all these concepts. Of course, we won't be analyzing and we won't be dominating all these literacies, but some of those literacies are more important than others. For example, regarding a type of degree, a type of school, type of university, a type of student. So we as teachers must make a great effort to discover more about all these digital age literacies. So my friends, we have to work on digital literacy, for example. We have to work on digital technologies, information, academic, media, and data literacy. We have to work on digital citizenship and identity. We have to work on digital creation and communication. We have to work on digital learning, professional and lifelong learning. This is why digital literacy is so important for our students, for Horizon 2030, for this 21st century, and of course, for us teachers, because we as teachers, we as mentors, we as inspirational leaders, we have to be connected with our students in different ways to make them understand that these times require new tools, require new approaches. And all this is about digital skills and digital literacy. So when we think about digital skills like word processing and spreadsheet creation, PowerPoint creation, and so on, we have, of course, elements of digital literacies that include cultural, cognitive, constructive, communicative, confident, creative, critical, civic. All these elements of digital literacies are very important. So when we bring together digital skills and the elements of digital literacies, we gain digital literacy skills. So this is the connection between digital skills and the elements of digital literacies. So when we think about all this and we think about our future, we find out that we need future literacies to be at the heart of our universities, to be at the heart of our schools. This is why we are talking about creativity and the connection between creativity and our community. Thinking skills to create project delivery purposes with storytelling, for example. So this is a new mindset that involves behaviors, practices, and competencies. And for example, when we connect the sense of play, curiosity with user-centered design and design thinking, we get sustainability, we get a plan, we get the possibility to deliver a real world project. And this is so important nowadays because universities must be truly connected with the communities that support universities, and universities support the communities as well, because education and the social environment are truly connected. So, my friends, when we think about the top 10 skills, for example, that were required in 2015 and were required in 2020, we have a lot of changes. And I won't be analyzing all these changes, but for example, in 2015, quality control and active listening were two of the most important skills that we had. And in 2020, we no longer have these skills. We have new skills. We have, for example, skills like emotional intelligence, like cognitive flexibility. And these skills were truly important, for example, during the COVID-19 crisis. And emotional intelligence with cognitive flexibility are now changing the way we see education and technology. So by 2025, we have a new list of top 10 skills that include analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategies, complex problem solving, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, originality and initiative, leadership and social influence, technology use, monitoring and control, technology design and programming, resilience, stress tolerance and flexibility, reasoning, problem solving and ideation. So my friends, these top 10 skills of 2025, and this is a portrait by World Economic Forum, are very important. And these 10 skills should be our priorities now, not just for 2025. Because when we are dealing with creating our future, this all starts now. And when we think about the importance of skills, and let's ask this question: what's the most important skill you need to have, for example, at your job on a day-to-day basis? And my friends, more than 20% answer communication skills. So communication skills and essential communication skills are now at the heart of our degrees, are at the heart of our schools, our universities, and they are very important for our students. And of course, these include positive body language, and transparency, honesty, persuasion, effective listening, professional language, accurate information giving, empathy and mirroring, personalization. So essential communication skills are, of course, truly connected with one great question: who is our listener? And in all degrees that we have in our universities, no matter the topic, no matter the area, no matter the domain, we are always thinking about our listener. And we have to understand that, for example, nonverbal communication is as important as personal connections or compassion or cultural awareness or verbal communication. All these skills are very important. So when we think about these communication skills, from presentation skills to cross-cultural communication, all this, of course, is also connected with the labor market. And the labor market is requiring from our students to have more competencies, to have more skills, more communication skills. For example, to have win-win conversations. For example, to have selling skills, to have business writing skills, So this is why we have to think about how we can change our curriculum, how we can make our curriculum more flexible, and we have to adapt to these needs. Because we are truly facing these 7 C's of effective communication. And our communication, again, in all sections, domains, topics of our universities and schools, must be clear, concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, cautious. So all this becomes the 7 C's of effective communication. All these becomes a lifeline for us to understand that communication is also one of the pillars that is going to create new students for these new labor market needs. Because, of course, these new labor market needs are also connected with digital transformation, with digital needs from corporations, from entities, but also from our communities, my friends. This is why we talk about digital citizenship. And when we think about the most important digital citizenship domains that include, of course, policies, actors, strategies, infrastructures and resources and evaluations, we are creating again a new mindset for citizenship, for digital citizenship. These include values, attitudes, skills, knowledge, and critical understanding. Because, my friends, the competencies of global citizenship are so important nowadays. We have a list, for example, of knowledge and understanding, skills, values, and attitudes that I could summarize by saying that we must work with our students so they can develop, for example, critical thinking. That is vital. They have to develop social justice and equity ideas, programs, projects that are so important. They have to identify values and attitudes like empathy, like dedication to social justice and equality, concern for environment, respect for difference and values, not just in their communities, but of course in their jobs. So we are talking about this great opportunity to create great professionals, but also great citizens. So this is why global citizenship is a global challenge. This is why we have to create platforms, we have to create conferences, we have to create sharing opportunities regarding these attitudes and values, knowledge and skills regarding digital literacy, for example, to create a new mindset, because everything has impact regarding Horizon 2030. So Horizon 2030, my dear friends, is about working together. Challenges of today's society inevitably lead to a new analysis and concerted action among international, national, and local organizations. We need to establish lines of thought and intervention that can respond with quality and adequacy to the enormous challenges that our century brings to teachers. We have to rethink education, pedagogy, and literacies that are necessary for teachers to be empowered, trained, and prepared for our students. This is why, my dear friends, Horizon 2030 is all about skills, is all about literacies. Horizon 2030 is about creating opportunities for sharing knowledge and to create a new portrait of future professionals, professionals with competencies, professionals with literacies, with knowledge, with values, with principles. This is why we have to collaborate. And this is why conferences like this one are so important. So thank you, my dear friends. Thank you, my dear colleagues. It was a great pleasure to be here. I hope we can stay in touch. So let's work together regarding Horizon 2030. Thank you.
The presentation is so wonderful, sir. Now the platform is open for the audience. They can ask their questions. Audience can share your views and ask questions. If there is any doubt, you can clarify it.
Okay. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable time with us. It's really an wonderful evening with you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, it was a great privilege to be here, a great honor. I hope we can stay in touch. And of course, if any of our esteemed participants wish to share a comment or ask any question, I'm available and willing to answer all these comments and questions, of course. So thanks again for inviting me. I hope we can meet very soon. Thank you so much, and see you soon again.
Thank you, sir. So it's time to welcome our second speaker, Professor Dr. Fernandimo.
Yes, good evening.
He is a
Sharing.
Let me introduce you, sir. Yes. So he is a graduate of Doctor in Public Administration from the Ardent City University, class of 2016, and a graduate of second doctorate degree, PhD in Development Education at the Central Luzon State University. After obtaining his doctorate degree, he was promoted and designated to the position of Assistant Director, Extension Coordinator, and Associate Professor of Department of Research Development and Extension in Philippine Merchant Marine Academy. And this gave him an opportunity to work with different international research institutions, such as Director of IKSAD Research Institute Malaysia, lecturer in the Graduate School Colombo College, and the president Roman Magay State University, and he was also appointed as the editor-in-chief of International Journal of Multidisciplinary Applied Business and Education Research, Malang, Indonesia. He was named an outstanding alumnus of the Graduate School of Uden City University. At the present, he was appointed as Technical Research Evaluator by the Department of Science and Technology and has published 82 research articles with 60 citation in ResearchGate and 44 citation in Google Scholar Index. He also published 12 international books in Europe, Indonesia, and India. We are so glad to invite you and we are welcome you, so over to you.
Okay, so good evening from the Republic of the Philippines. Am I audible, dear members?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Please continue.
so good evening. Yes, once again, I'm Dr. Fernandimo from the Republic of the Philippines. So it's a great honor for me to be invited in this virtual platform, of course, to share my knowledge in the field of research. So my task for tonight, it's about the role of the artificial intelligence in research. So part of it, let me greet you in the Philippines. Mabuhay and magandang gabi. So, to start with, of course, I would like to ask this question: is artificial intelligence and research that's questions that we need to answer. Of course, part of it, artificial intelligence is transforming, of course, scientific, quantitative research, as well as everyday life, from communications to transportations to healthcare and many more. Because artificial intelligence plays a vital role, and it's explore what defines AI, how it has evolved. Since, of course, part of the artificial intelligence, machine learning, about doing different tests, Turing tests, in the future of artificial intelligence, plays, of course, a linkage between the field of research. So, part of the artificial intelligence in the changing society nowadays, especially we are now living in the new normal, it plays a vital role because every day in our daily lives, we experience a new technology platform which is being discovered. For example, nowadays, we're using different web applications and technology. For example, you have the so-called the chat GPT, which is part of the artificial intelligence that can be used in the web applications, which is, I know, that is part of the sustainable development in the research and development area. And I know that there are some advantages and disadvantages of artificial intelligence because in the neural networks and other machine learning, AI technologies are developing quickly. For example, before we are in the education, actually it's already 5.0, but right now because of the technology and other research and part of the advancement, primarily change in its capability of processing massive volumes of data considerably more quickly and correctly than humans. Take note of that. So being a researcher, it is be overwhelmed by those vast amount of data that can be generated everyday life. But part of this, the artificial intelligence programs that use, of course, machine learning, deep learning, and other platforms under and including robotics and under the program of AI can, of course, change our technology. Of course, the cost of processing the enormous volumes of data can be used for this situational uh, that we're encountering right now. And most organization must be aware of its potential that can help, of course, to create other systems into more goods and services that we can benefit from. So, of course, the advantage of this is really plays a good part of our not only, of course, in the community, but of course in the stakeholders, because without the research, there's no such thing as a developed artificial intelligence that can help and enhance us. For example, the role of the IoT, Internet of Things, it's part of the development under the research development, which falls under the domain of the artificial intelligence. Of course, the advantages, another advantages of AI, of course, good at detail-oriented jobs, of course, because it has been proven as part that can be that can help our health sector in terms of determining, of course, early diagnosis of, uh, for example, cancers and other diseases. It can also reduce time for heavy tasks because it's widely used in other industries, including banking and securities. And of course, it can analyze big data, of course, in the part of financial services and other AI processes loan applications and detecting fraud data. And of course, it can save labor and increases productivity. So, as you know, based on the fact that most of our scientists and researchers trying to look for an innovations, of course, which is part of the scientific research that can help and enhance and can deliver consistent results, just like what we have. Without, of course, the research and scientific findings, we won't be able to solve what we have encountered during the COVID-19. For example, those clinical trials that we have, it's part of the development, it's part of the artificial intelligence that they have conducted. So this can improve, of course, customer satisfactions through uh, research and development, and it can empower, of course, other community and stakeholders. And part of it, the role of the artificial intelligence, of course, in the research and developments can address concerns like data access, challenges, algorithmic bias, ethics on, of course, in IT or other transparency and legal accountability, of course, can be part of the judgment based on the findings. And part of it, it can also be a unique application in the fields of course, finance. Of course, it's very important for the national security, healthcare sector, criminal justice, transformation, transportation, and can also be transformed into a smart cities or smart campus. So without this development that we have, definitely we won't be able to have a new normal setup. So we are comparing these regular frameworks, of course, in other countries such as US and European, that can have and maximize other potential applications in the field of research that can be used of the artificial intelligence applications such as the Internet of Things, uh, machine learning, deep learning, and other platforms that can be used. And of course, the combination of these applications methods from other areas in the computer science and artificial intelligence can be part of an influencing facets of science and technology, and of course in our daily life. So of course these techniques have been created to analyze high throughput data in order to gain insightful information and can classify, predict, and make judgments easily and realistic situation. This will of course encourage all stakeholders that in encouraging us to engage in the research and development in doing innovations in terms of applications and support the sustainable development growth of this platform that can help our economy, especially that we're in the process, of course, of in other places in the economic recovery. And this one can help us, of course, including information science, mathematics, and other related sectors that can maximize the potential of the artificial intelligence. So the importance of it, another is, of course, AI has a long history since the invention of AI because of the robotics inventions, because part of it, it can contribute to the scientific discovery, particularly during these situations. So part of it, it can enable a new methods, processes, new management, and evaluations, of course, through other analysis in other areas. And of course, AI plays an initiative to reduce the workloads of course, for example, in conducting the peer reviews and gaining momentum, of course, in doing research evaluation by using applications platform, for example, using your phone, your other gadgets, using your laptops, you can check and you can evaluate by using this platform. Okay, just like what we are doing right now, we can conduct conferences using different platform, of course. So that's part of a new innovations and research findings, which is integrated with the environment of the artificial intelligence. Okay, and of course, in the AI research stage, in the large-scale machine learning, many of the basic problems in the machine learning, such as a supervised and a supervised learning, this one can help, of course, as a major focus of current effort, which can escalate, of course, in the part of enhancement or doing new technologies. For example, whereas traditional methods can be uh, applied for a new technologies that we are using right now. So of course, another form of a AI is a deep learning, which is the ability, of course, to successfully train convolutional neural networks that can make benefit in the field of computer vision. So this deep learning, of course, which can be a realistic approach that can integrate the voice recognition, activity recognition, and other platforms that can be used for transactions, real-time transactions, which is be part of a significant inroads in other areas of perception such as audio, speech, and can also be part of the natural language process. That's why in this part of uh, discovering new things, I could say that of course the artificial intelligence plays a vital role, especially nowadays, now that we are living in the new normal, of course. So we need to use this platform as part of our discovery, innovations, and research development activities. And of course, in the reinforcement learning, of course, in the education sector, whereas traditional machine learning has mostly focused on pattern mining or in other platform that can reinforce learning and that can enhance our cognitive development. Of course, part of this using technology platform that can advance more deeply in a realistic approach of learning. For example, by using virtual reality, which is and also augmented reality, which is part of facet that uh, executing an actions in the real world using those scenarios because it has existed for several decades as a framework for experience-driven sequential decision making, but this method cannot be done without the use of this technology platform. So should I say that the advancement of the deep learning or other platforms, of course, is one part wherein it can be used. Just like what we are experiencing right now, for example, in the Google platform, we using technology you can execute other AI activities reinforcement by doing recognitions, for example, speech recognitions or other things that can run a particular scenarios. So those are important factors. And of course, robotics. Of course, in the static environments nowadays, of course, not only in other sectors, in the whole sectors, of course, it in the large scale community, this can be one of a natural requirement that arises, of course, in the interactive environment nowadays, especially that we are living in the new normal. Part of it, we are entering into the using the influence robotics, for example. As you also been there, if you're going to use or navigate in other applications in the web application, you would be able to encounter other realistic approaches. For example, using ChatGPT as part of a large scale platform that can reinforce part of the learning in the artificial intelligence sector. And these scenarios is really realistic that can enhance, of course, the perception, which can include, of course, computer vision in force in tactical perceptions that can simulate other machine learning on this part. Okay. Of course, computer vision is one part of the artificial intelligence, which is currently the most prominent form of machine perception, which is been the sub areas of AI, which is transformed in the rise of deep learning. Okay, so this one plays also a vital role. So I will be playing a short movie, which is the role of this technology. So as you see on the screen, these are type of images that can enhance, of course, generate images. So these are example of platforms that can be used. So those are good examples that we can use part of it. So as you see on the screen, this framework that we have, the artificial intelligence, of course, we have the expert systems that we are using, just like which has been seen on the short video. It plays an important factor. For example, by doing a development, by creating particular applications, like example, Chat GPT, it can be programmed, for example, using a web-based applications, which can be used, for example, for neural networks, robotics, fuzzy logic, and natural language processing, which is this is the framework of doing such a particular realistic uh, applications that can help, of course, our in our sector, and of course in our community, especially that we are now in the new normal. So definitely, in terms of helping our economy to recover by using this new research development in innovations, definitely it can help. Of course, it will be a big help for our society, okay, in terms of using these applications and these new innovations. So the primary goal and challenging of our time, of course, is what we are talking about: sustainable development. Because of the intelligence can make it's a continuous process where we in every day in our life we can innovate, we can find new solutions, new techniques, which can be applied, of course, the research and development process that can be used, of course, in our community. And part of it, the AI, of course, as you see on the screen, it can help transform our community in a better place, just like what we have right now in the new normal. So AI, of course, is a big has a big role in our society. So part of it in artificial intelligence in research and publication. So many things can be done. If you're going to check on the framework coming from the Nyago website, definitely it plays a vital role. For example, in the plagiarism and and detections in other source search engines or other platforms that can detect or do peer review, it's part of an AI trends that can help transform our society in more accurate and fast processing. So this one can transform our community in a better world, of course, using the platform of artificial intelligence, of course, plays a market growth, of course, in our community. So, of course, part of it, I also would like to include about the current situations in the healthcare industries, because doctors and healthcare staff can use voice recognitions, can use a perception just like this one. So that is one of the benefits of the voice over IP or other technological based platform which is being developed under the artificial intelligence. So this one plays a vital role. So by doing continuous research and other innovations, it can help us to look for a new solutions, okay, that can help us to do a fast process transaction, of course, not only in the healthcare industry, but in all sectors. Just like what we have on the screen, using the augmented reality and virtual reality, which is, I believe, this is one part of a platform which is under the umbrella of AI, which is in the field of medicine. It plays a big role because this one, the implementation of this technology can offer valuable hands-on or simulations accurately, and they can enhance the learning experiences, of course, by the students in using or incorporating this technology, whether they are augmented reality and virtual reality, which is part, of course, to simulate other situations on patients and surgical encounters. So with this, it can really revolutionize our industry. That's why we have IR, industrial revolution, which is part of the technology enhancement and changes. Of course, using the area of research and development. Of course, we also have cloud computing, which is on demand right now because of the storage. For example, uh, you don't need to bring a particular storage device, but if you want to save it uh, in a cloud-based application, you can save it anywhere. And from there, using this platform, it's accessible for us to generate informations or download informations, which is part of the processes. So as you see on the screen, this is also part of the technology framework, which is it involves, of course, uh, a continuous development of research and other enhancement so that they would be able to come up with a good output that can help, of course, strengthen, of course, help our community to recover easily. So, of course, the web applications in healthcare industry, of course, has the following under health 2.0 or using the web applications technologies under the web. For example, we have surgical assistance using augmented reality by doing simulations. We can also do remote consultation with doctors, which is, I know right now, that's a good process where we can use this technology platform when we have the combination of research and AI. And of course, other online pharmacies that can be used right now. And of course, it can maintain health records of patients in a particular database, and it has a real-time processes and predictive analysis of particular informations and monitoring of patients, of course, with IoT or the Internet of Things, which is nowadays, I believe that without this platform, we won't be able to communicate or to read announcement or those particular situations. Then, of course, it has an inventory management in a particular hospitals, which plays a vital role. So examples of technology trends, of course, in the healthcare sectors, this is about freeing up focus for patients' care by automatic routine tasks using artificial intelligence. Of course, nowadays, even we are in the field of healthcare sector, without the technology, definitely the whole processes will not run smoothly and might be able to encounter parallelization of the process. This can also improve access to care through virtual collaborations between other providers, which is can also connect to the hospital, to the home, and virtual care. So offering this kind of services and facilities close, of course, to us, patients, can be part of enabling particular collaborations between, of course, the healthcare sectors in other uh, community. So using predictive analysis can do proactive management of transitions of care using artificial intelligence. And of course, AI and machine learning for healthcare or other sectors has a big role. Okay, for example, even you have a small device, you can access everything, particularly in this kind of situational cases that I'm showing to you. Okay, because it has subset of other AI that can be connected on this one. So, for example, the artificial intelligence or machine learning powered system can analyze the data like an experienced human radiologist. It can give an interpretations. It can determine the location of, for example, of a particular cancer cell or a tumor, which can identify the spot on skins and lesions. So many patients wait in a queue to get an appointment from a particular health expert, and it can resolve issues by automating the whole processes using the technology platform. So reducing the cost of healthcare has climbed sharply in the last few years using, of course, the AI and ML delivery on a promising result when it comes to optimizing the operations using ICT platform. And it can empower tools that can forecast, of course, this one based on the patient say, and of course, the hospital can allocate its resources, the saving costs and reducing waste. So it's very important to know this factor. Okay. In augmented medical research, it's being said that tens of thousands of research papers are being published annually, but which makes it challenging for the researchers in the medical field to go through each paper and extract what they need from us. Instead of producing all these articles, we can use other platforms or other way to do this. So I can also discover situational cases like Ebola virus or other outbreak, and this one can maximize, of course, the potential of the AI powered program, which is to connect. Okay, this program is to enable identity, of course, in the field of medicines in other areas that we want to achieve. And of course, the use of ICT has the possibility to promote patient-centered healthcare in any area. And of course, this one, it can encourage and help us to determine, okay, this particular cases. So of course, part of it, the medical technologies right now, in many recent years, they have been doing groundbreaking advancement in technology and healthcare. So of course, we have the following services that we can check. We have the 3D printing, the artificial organs, the robotic surgery, and health wearables, and of course the virtual reality, and even the telehealth that can help us process everything. Okay, and of course benefits of using ICT, of course, can be summarized in the following, and that's very important for us because this one plays a vital role. So benefits of using this technology in the healthcare field can help increase the quality in the patient assistance, getting down the medical spending, using platform independent space. Those things are very important, which can reduce administrative costs because of the technology which is being used there, and that is possibility to carry on brand new health models. So ICT have been defined as technology with a high transformative potential that can be used for in a particular place or in a house. So, preceded by the health information systems, which is under the program of the National Unified Health, using ICT, it aims to generate tools that will able to bridge the gaps in other services. So, of course, ICT does indeed have a positive role to play in both the education and other healthcare sector. So, you should always check and know. So, we have the following platforms that we have. For example, of the healthcare and medical technologies using the smart uh, campus or other system. So using this type of technology can give us helping hand. So those platform that I've shown to you plays an important role, of course, not only in the field of healthcare but in other areas. That's why for us, ICT plays a vital role, of course, in the artificial intelligence in other domains of particular topics in the AI can help us strengthen the following uh, situations. Okay, so it's very important, of course, to know these things. Okay, uh, so guys, my advice to you, my last part of advice is you can uh, combine the idea of this cloud computing team to a regular setup in a land base. But definitely, at the end of the day, because of the evolution that we have, definitely it will create an advanced approach. Okay, so for example, we have applications in the healthcare industry. It can use for surgical assistance with using augmented reality, remote consultation with doctors, online pharmacies, or in any other way that can uh, fast track situational cases using the web applications, of course, this uh, area. So I think that would be all on my part for tonight. So with that, uh, to the group that have invited me, thank you for giving me this opportunity to be invited. And if you have some questions, feel free to ask me. Okay, for further clarifications. So if you have any questions, you can ask me now. That will be all for on my side.
Yes, thank you, sir. So, dear participants, you can ask your questions now. Any questions? Okay. So, thank you, sir. It was a very inspiring presentation. Thank you so much for your valuable time with us, sir.
Yeah, so thank you for inviting me again. I think this is my uh, fourth, third time to be invited in this group. So once again, thank you and mabuhay and good evening from the Republic of the Philippines. And that would be all. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you, sir.